Hello, tonight our lesson is on adding and subtracting fractions. So let's start by putting this in our notes. To add or subtract fractions, you must have a common denominator. So this is something that we've covered over and over again since school has started, and that is, in order to add these two fractions together, the numbers on the bottom of the fraction, the denominators, they have to be the same. Otherwise, we can't add them together. All right, well, ideally, we want to find the least common denominator, although any common denominator would work. In this case, the least common denominator for 4 and for 3 would be 12. So if you were listing the multiples of 4 and the multiples of 3, and like we've done before, finding least common multiples, we make a list of the multiples, and then the smallest number that's in both lists would be the least common multiple. So 12 in this case is the least common multiple. So multiply 4 times 3 and 3 times 4, and then do the same in the numerators. Alright, so for this first example, we'll end up getting 3 over 12 as an equivalent fraction to 1/4, and we'll end up getting 4 over 12 as an equivalent fraction to 1/3. Now we can add them together. 3 twelfths plus 4 twelfths would equal 7 twelfths. And I always look to reduce if able to, and in this case, this is lowest terms. You can't divide anything out of 7 and 12 that's common other than a 1. Alright, here we have a couple more examples. 4/9 plus 1/3. So if you made a list of the common multiples for 9 and for 3, you'd see that the least common multiple is actually 9. So the first fraction, you can leave it alone, multiply the second fraction by 3 and by 3. So that would give us 4/9 plus 3/9 for an answer of 7/9. Alright, go ahead and write down the next one, 5/6 plus 4/9. Pause your video, solve it, and then restart to check your answer. Welcome back from pausing the video. If I'm making a list of multiples for 6 and for 9, I see that 18 is the least common multiple. So I'll multiply 9 times 2 and 4 times 2, and then 6 times 3 and 5 times 3. That would give us equivalent fractions of 15 over 18 and then 8 over 18. Add them together. 15 plus 8 equals 23 over 18. Alright, now I think I've mentioned this before, and that is improper fractions are numbers where the numerator is more than the denominator. And I know that you in the past have written these as mixed numbers. So this would be 1 over 5 20/3. So 1 and 5 20/3. But you don't have to do that. I give you permission. Actually, I prefer that you leave improper fractions the way they are. The only thing would be divide out any common factors. And here 23 and 18 don't have any common factors other than 1. So we can just leave that the way it is. Alright, now we're subtracting, but we use the same routine. Find a common denominator, the least common denominator, and then subtract. So go ahead and write these down, then pause your video, find the answer for both, and restart to check the answers. Welcome back from pausing your video. For this first problem, multiples of 12 and multiples of 8 show that the least common multiple is 24. So I'm going to multiply 12 times 2 and 8 times 3. That makes equivalent fractions of 14 24ths and 3 24ths. I'm going to subtract them. 14 minus 3 is 11. So that's 11 24ths, and that can't be reduced. All right, the next one, multiples of 10, and then multiples of 3. Okay, well, I think I can see that if I list all the multiples, eventually I'm going to get to 30, which is going to be the least common multiple. All right, so 10 times 3 and 3 times 10. That gives us 27 thirtieths, and we're subtracting 20 thirtieths for a final answer of 7 thirtieths. Okay, so how'd you do on those? All right, here's a self-quiz. Go ahead and write these down, pause the video, and take the self-quiz. Then restart to see how you did. Welcome back from pausing the video. For the first problem, our least common denominator is 10. So we end up getting 6 over 10 plus 5 over 10, which equals 11 tenths. And just leave your answer improper, as I was saying. Okay, the next one, multiples of 15 and 9 would show that 45 is the least common multiple. So multiply 15 times 3 and 9 times 5, and multiply the numerators by the same amount. So we get 33 45ths minus 10 45ths, and that gives us an answer of 23 45ths. All right, so how'd you do on those? All right, well, that's all for tonight. Remember, read some books.